up in the air with some nice touch, just lofted it over the Roma goaltender and bounced it into the net. Throw in from the corner by Croatia, knocked away by St. Catharines. Here's Dugas through the middle, looking for Argatu. Argatu looked over the wrong shoulder. Connor now will have an opportunity to play it. Controls the ball, trying to spin away from his check. Still has it along the line, finally knocked out of bounds by Kanisic. Connor throwing it into Dugas, who heads it back to Connor. Connor with a quick move, trying to spin away from Pecos. Does, plays it back to Hode. Hode moving to the center of the field. Hode still has it. Hode finally knocked down, but still trying to play it from down on the ground, and finally Kosivic takes it. Krelton with it coming to midfield, plays it through to the middle. Sikotovic. He chips it ahead, and that'll go right to Dino Perry, and Perry choosing to roll it out a bit before throwing it up the near sidelines to Connor. Connor catches up to the rolling ball, chips it towards the Croatian goal, and right on to Madeline Preleha. United. It'll be interesting to see how Coach Jim Douglas instructs his players here in the second half to go offensively against Croatia. Needing 2 goals just to force overtime. Should be 2 15-minute periods, and if it's still tied after that, well, then we go to a shootout. Hode with another opportunity, rolling it through, finds a man, and Marjanovic took the shot. Preleha diving across, and the ball just sailed wide of the post. What an opportunity for Zoran Marjanovic. And a great play by Roma, and just unlucky, unable to find the back of the net. Saw Marjanovic came through there as Hode threaded the needle. And another glorious opportunity missed here in the second half. The first one, Croatia had a wide open net. And that time, Hode and Marjanovic nearly connecting to tie this one up. Coyle moving it ahead, stopped there by Prince. Plays it back to Smallshaw. Smallshaw, we mentioned his name an awful lot in about the first 20 or so minutes of the first half, and then Roma became a little stronger, and he wasn't as dominant for the second half of the first half. Roma player pulled down from behind by Coyle as he had a step on him. Marjanovic was the player hauled down. He'll set up the free kick. This one about 15 yards outside the penalty area, and 3 Croatian players form a wall. All the rest of the players line up right along the 18-yard line. Marjanovic being instructed to place the ball in the proper position by the referee, Tony Camacho, finally does. Marjanovic taking his time, trying to decide what he's going to do. The whistle has been blown. Camacho now redirecting the wall, and the Croatian players won't move back to the position that Camacho has told them to. Now they finally are moving back, and they are lining up right along the 18-yard line. Marjanovic chips it towards the goal. That's blocked by the wall. Comes back, Smallshaw pops it over to Prince. Prince, losing his footing, regains it, moves the ball back in the other direction. The give and go by Zubic to Prince again. Prince along the sidelines, around one man in Coyle. Still has it, Prince tried to cross it in front, and it's intercepted by Croatia. Zubic was the closest man there. long lead pass that was intended for Kosivic. Perry way out of his net to clear it up to Marjanovic. Marjanovic trying to keep it in play, but was unable to. DeVere Hurley, Remy Jackson, and Roman Kesman remain on the bench for Club Roma. Kesman is a question mark, though. He was scratched from the starting lineup, not feeling well before tonight's game. Replaced by Jerry Vandermeer, who has since been replaced by Carlo Argatu. A giveaway by Roma. A long shot, and that was Robert Mielek, who came up from behind and tried to take the shot on Perry and sailed it well over top of the net. Queensway Auto Parts is pleased to sponsor coverage of the Canadian National Soccer League. Drop by their Niagara Falls office at 6740 Marshall Road in Niagara Falls. Here's Connor being tangled up with his counterpart Kenasek, number-wise that is. Kenasek gets the ball back. Played up through the middle. It was intended for Kosivic. Stolen. Into the middle. Here's Marjanovic. Tips it across. Zubic shot. Score! Zoran Zubic. Finishing off a pretty three-way passing play, and Roma has tied the game. An excellent play by Club Roma, and you see it coming through. Marjanovic may have had the shot, decided to tip it over, and Zoran Zubic blasts it past Madeline Prelaha, and this game is tied. So a pretty passing play, started off by Martin Dugas. He rolled it over to Zoran Marjanovic. Marjanovic, who appeared to be in a good shooting position, but instead chose to pass it over, and under the circumstances, or considering that they finished off the play, made the right choice, found Zoran Zubic, and Zubic deposited it in behind Madeline Prelaha. We're tied at 1, and St. Catharines one step closer to forcing overtime here in this Canadian National Soccer League Challenge Cup Series. Kosivic called on the foul on the play. You can't argue too much with the referee Camacho, who hasn't shown much tolerance for talking back, as Kosivic has already received a yellow card in the game. Rolled through by Kosivic, gets all the way back to Prince. Prince turns around, strikes it in the other direction. Connard coming back to help out, and Roma trying to turn it back in the other direction. Connard has Argatu in front of him, chooses instead to roll it into the center of the field, and a Croatian player, the lone man there, is Picos, who knocks it into touch, and Roma will throw it in. The throw in over to Smallshaw. Smallshaw will go all the way across to the other field to Zubic, the goal scorer for Roma in the game here in the second half. Zubic all tangled up with Kosivic. Croatian player bringing the ball back into play is Coyle, and he'll toss it in. A lull in the action here. The referee, Camacho, now talking to Velimir Krelton. Not particularly sure what that conversation was about, but it's over now.
There was a substitution for Club Roma half time. Entering the field with number 12, Carlo Argitu, replacing number 11, Jerry Wanderman.
Martin Dugas coming over midfield, tried to play it up to Argitu. Wasn't far enough for him, stolen by Croatia. The field becoming a little slick now here in the second half. Players losing their footing a little more often or a little more obvious. Here's Zubic. Zubic cut off by Picos, who has a lot of speed. And back comes Croatia. Over midfield, this is Sipo. Sipo rolling it ahead. He has a man up there. Cut off by Prince, and he goes tumbling to the ground with Hekrovic. A nice defensive play by Prince on Hekrovic, who seemed to have a step on Prince, but Adrian was able to come back and knock it away. Small shot to Bernardi. Bernardi makes the turn. Bernardi into Zubic. Zubic just around the outside. The advantage called by the referee. Conard in the middle. The header by Bernardi just wide of the goal. And Conard and Bernardi hooking up on that effort. As Zoran Zubic is slow to get to his feet. So Roma try to push things offensively here. Mark Conard and Tom Bernardi hooking up with a nice try. Just the header of Bernardi went wide of the goal. Here's an opportunity. Marjanovic spins away for one. He's knocked down by Coyle and a foul called. And with Roma pressuring offensively, they seem to have gotten Croatia slightly off their game a little bit. Devere Hurley is now warming on the far sideline. Apparently preparing to come into the game. Once again, Croatia building the wall. This time 4 players involved. Zoran Zubic appears to be the player going to strike the ball for Roma. He does. He gets it through and just wide of the goal. Preliha dove across, and a sharp blistering shot by Zoran Zubic just missed wide to the right of Preliha. See it here on the replay. Zubic with a full head of steam blasting the ball just beside the Croatian wall, and Preliha did not get a piece of that, and it just went wide of the net. Great effort by Zoran Zubic. Certainly played well for Roma. Spent a lot of time back deep in the first half, and I thought maybe they might have moved him back into a defensive role here for tonight's game. Slow bounding shot by Devor Sipo, easily scooped up by Dino Perry, and now he'll direct traffic and allow his mates to move upfield. Bernardi with control plays it across to Zubic. Zubic sails one in towards Preliha, who comes out and handles it easily, much to the disgust of the partisan Roma crowd. Conard and Hode connecting for a quick little passing play. Argitu trying to get around the outside of Milik, and Milik had a hold of his jersey and wouldn't allow the speedy youngster around the outside. Hekrovic and Prince tangling up. Hekrovic's cross deep. Here's an opportunity for Croatia into the center of the field, knocked away by Zubic, who has come back nice defensively. There's a shot just wide of the goal, as Devor Sipo was the man. Dino Perry retrieving the ball and bringing it back into play. Here's Connert. Trying to get around Sipo. Connert has it with an opportunity. Pass it back. Bernardi across. Marjanovic pulls it back. His shot scores! Marjanovic! Roma is up 2-1. Zoran Marjanovic finished this one off. Bernardi with a beautiful play to pass it across. Marjanovic cuts back against the grain, had Prelaha down, and rolls it into the corner. 2-1, Roma leads.
Club Roma goal scored by number 9, Zoran Marjanovic. Club Roma 2, Croatia 1.
Marjanovic and Roma comes back with a vengeance here in the second half and now lead this one 2-1. Here comes Croatia right back on the hunt for a goal. There's a shot, scores! A single-handed effort by Velimir Krelton. And just like that, we're tied at 2 again. Velimir Krelton allowed to run half the length of the field unscathed and blasts it past Dino Perry. A defensive shutdown by Roma on the play, and there is the player Krelton who moves in unmolested, blasts the shot over the shoulder of Dino Perry up just under the crossbar, and we're tied at 2 with 2 goals in under a minute here in the second half. Well, that'll make things interesting. Roma right back at it now. Dugas with a handful of jersey. Here's Marjanovic. Marjanovic still trying to get away from a couple players. It finally banks off a Croatian player, and that'll set up a corner. Well, on straight two-game aggregate, it's 4-3 in favor of Croatia at this point. Igor Hode now looking for some room. Hode passes it back and it rolls into touch. Marjanovic not happy with the call. Sun Collision is pleased to sponsor coverage of the Canadian National Soccer League. For that extra sensational touch, visit Sun Collision at 219 Merritt Street in St. Catharines. So with Croatia leading the two-game aggregate goal series 4-3, Roma now in this position trying to add things up. Devere Hurley has now come into the game. And I didn't see who he replaced, but Hurley is into the game.
Croatian goal scored by number 17. The score now is 2-2. Croatia 2, Club Roma.
That's Hurley on the far sidelines, rolling it through. Marjanovic is knocked off the ball. Croatia trying to move it back the other way. Kosivic had it. Rolls a long ball ahead. Deep cross as the player's looking for Kanasic. Kanasic was there, but so was a Roma player, Argatu. Here's Connert. Connert gives it to Smallshaw. Smallshaw through a couple players, gives it to Argatu. Argatu with not much room, cut off quickly by Sipo. Sipo bodies the man, and that'll set up a free kick here for Roma as Argatu and Sipo now getting tangled up with one another. Connert to the back of the net. Devere Hurley was there, but just in front of him was Prelaha. Well, as far as my addition goes, St. Catharines needs 2 more goals now in this game just to tie it up, as far as the tie-breaking system goes, and 3 to win. Connert cuts it across, headed in the other direction by Croatia. Hurley is there. Hurley gives it to Hode. Hode's shot sneaks through, and Bernardi will not be able to catch up to it before Prelaha gets there. On straight goals for and against, Croatia leading this one 4-3. But with St. Catharines scoring another goal, that would even in at 4-4, and then we'd have to go to in the event of a tie, away goals count as 2. So that would give Croatia 6, St. Catharines 4. Bernardi plays it back to Hurley. Hurley tried to roll it through looking for Dugas, and he couldn't find him. Here comes Croatia racing up the field. Kanasic trying to bounce it through. He was looking for a teammate just in front of the net. Dino Perry came up with the ball. Bernardi knocked down as he let the ball roll through. This is Kanasic again. Kanasic rolling it ahead. And Hekrovic is taken down heavily by Smallshaw. Hurley came in to replace Zoran Zubic, one of the 2 St. Catharines Club Roma goal scorers here in the game. Zubic played a fine game both directions. Had another great opportunity off a free kick that whistled just wide of the post. Also had a header that just cleared the crossbar in the first half, so Zubic turned in a very strong possession, or very strong performance in this contest tonight. A handball called against Croatia. Ball lofted, and Prelaha had to keep that one out, just tapping it over top of the crossbar, and this will be a corner. Connert's corner, a low one. Bouncing ball and a foul called against Roma. Sipo was fouled. So as I said, if my math is correct, Roma needs a couple goals here in the late stages of the second half to force overtime, and 3 to win outright. That second goal scored by Krelton, the one where he ran down the field unmolested, is the big one in this game. At this point anyways. Here's Hode trying to get over midfield, bounced away by one man. Hurley. Smallshaw now. Smallshaw trying to get away from Hekrovic, ends up turning it over. Kosivic playing it back. Krelton now rolls it ahead. Picos tried to tip it through, and luckily St. Catharines got a foot on it. Hode leaves it go to Marjanovic. Marjanovic spins away from a man, passes it across to Hurley. Hurley putting it in, and an offside called against Roma. Croatia is stuck with the same starting players all the way through here. Roma with just 2 players remaining on the bench. Remy Jackson is one, and of course the other, the backup keeper, Lee Burrows. Prelaha's long kick. Mamek got a piece of it. Plays it up to Hurley. Hurley through the middle. Rolls it ahead looking for Argatu. It's cut off by the Croatian defense. Argatu takes down his man heavily. Here's Krelton. Right along the lines and knocked out of bounds by Hurley. They're calling it off a Croatian player. Roma quickly going and getting the ball and bringing it back into play. His time is expiring on the Roma club as far as the CNSL Challenge Cup Series goes. The winner of this series will go on to face London in the final. Krelton, a long ball. Kosivic got a piece of it. Connert up to Argatu. Argatu tried to tap it back to Connert and he loses it. Here's Milik. Milik gets it back again, lets it go to Kosivic. Connert found Hode coming up from behind. Hode is cut off in his tracks. Here's Krelton again, plays it over. Kanasic. Kanasic around one man, still has it, plays it back. Croatian, another shot and a stop by Dino Perry. Miroslav Pico's coming in from behind once again. Getting involved in the offense and getting another shot on goal. Krelton seems to be everywhere at this moment. Plays it ahead, Kanasic. Misplay by Kanasic and it rolls into touch. Game tied at 2 apiece. The 2-game aggregate goal series means Roma is trailing 4-3 before any tiebreaker goes into effect. So they need 1 goal to enforce the tiebreaker and then they'll still be down. Another goal. Connert gives it right away. A long lead pass. And Adrian Prince is back neatly to break up the opportunity for Croatia. And Connert will get another opportunity and runs right into Kanasic, who did his job just to stop Connert in his tracks and knock the ball out of play. Marjanovic all the way across to the other side to Hurley. Hurley has a little bit of trouble containing the ball, and it's knocked off Hurley's foot by Coyle. Jozo Mamic will hurriedly sprint across the field and get it right back into play. Krelton knocked down by Hurley. Hekrovic playing it ahead, looking for Kosivic. Kosivic still in pursuit of the ball, but it's taken away by Smallshaw. Smallshaw rolling it up. Bang, bang, bang. Passing ends up on the foot of Coyle. Coyle with control. His cross deep and brought down by Perry. More of a attempted shot on goal by Coyle in that instance. Here's Dugas. Bernardi tapped it back and Hode has to retreat. Hode down the far sidelines. Marjanovic to Bernardi. Back to Marjanovic. Marjanovic still in control. Kosivic forces him outside. Marjanovic still with it. Dancing around the ball, gets it through to Argatu. Argatu unable to catch up to it as Sikotovic got there first and knocked it for a corner. Connert now will set up the corner. Chips it deep. Mamic. Hurley tried the bicycle kick. And a foul called against Hurley. Perelaha didn't properly take the goal kick. Make that the free kick from the foul point. Didn't take it from the foul point. Now he does it properly. Hode heads it back, and Connert is under it. Connert up to Argatu. Argatu and a sliding tackle made by Milik. Connert had it momentarily, but the Croatian defense recovered. Nice pass by Hekrovic, setting up another opportunity here for Croatia. And a foul called against Devere Hurley, who was back and knocked over Krelton. Krelton is slow to get to his feet. And at this point, there's some movement over on the Croatian bench, as it appears one player will be coming into the game as a substitution. He's getting off his warm-up suit. A long shot taken there by Hekrovic is miles high and over the net. And that should allow Croatia to make their substitution. Club Roma Soccer is being sponsored by Vince's TV and Hitachi. Vince's TV, located at 282 Welland Avenue in St. Catharines, makes repairs to all makes of TVs and VCRs. Dino Perry setting up the goal kick. This game's knotted at 2, but Roma trailing in the 2-game aggregate goal series. Hode to Hurley. Hurley trying to get around Krelton, and Krelton steals the ball away, and back upfield comes Kosivic. He's stopped immediately. Here's Dugas. Dugas trying to contend with a bouncing ball, gets it across to Connert. Connert now. Connert moving to the center of the field, takes a shot trying to go back against the grain once again, and rolled it wide of the goal. Connert trying to get the goaltender Preleha going the wrong way, as many of the Roma players have tried to do so far here tonight. Vorte, Kosivic, and Velimir Krelton are your goal scorers for Toronto, Croatia. Zoran Marjanovic and Zoran Zubic have replied for Club Roma. Club Roma actually finished the first half trailing 1-0 before striking twice in the second half to move ahead 2-1 after the second goal scored by Marjanovic. A heartbreaker just moments after Velimir Krelton was allowed to travel practically the length of the field unscathed and buried a shot past Dino Perry, and that tied it at 2 and put Roma in dire straits here as time runs out here in the second half. Total goals outright without any tie-breaking formula is in favor of Croatia here, 4-3. And that's good enough to send them into the Canadian National Soccer League Challenge Cup final series against London if they can hold on to things. Here's Argatu trying to change that. Argatu moves in front, and a good job by Frank Delisimonic to come up from behind to break up the good run by Carlo Argatu. Mamek showing some great effort to dive and head that one in the other direction. Here's Hurley with a bit of running room. Hurley trying to get around Coyle, and Coyle was able to get a foot in front of it and knock it into touch. Dugas heading it towards the goal, and the slow bounder is easily corralled by the goalkeeper Madeline Preleha. As we said, he's also the coach of this team and has signaled for substitutions to be made, and I must think it's rather difficult for him to keep an eye on his players to know which ones are maybe tiring out a little bit as he tries to concentrate on playing goal. look at some of the fans on hand here at Community Park. A full house tonight to watch what has become one of the big rivalries for Club Roma in the Canadian National Soccer League. The other, of course, being Toronto Italia, who was here last week. Roma crossed in front by Marjanovic and easily recovered by Preliha, who throws it up immediately. Picos playing it through. Kosivic taps it off. Kanasic trying to roll it through. And Croatia caught on the offside. Roma and Coach Jim Douglas are going to have to move some men up into the offensive scheme of things here. They hope to score a couple more goals. Dugas rolling it through to Marjanovic. Marjanovic can't get it away as there are 3 Croatian players surrounding him. And they choose just to clear the ball down the field. Adrian Prince, who has gone all the way on the Roma defense. Dugas has to turn it back. It's Mamek up the sidelines, an errant pass stolen by Coyle. Coyle across to Kanasic. Kanasic with some room. He'll take his time. Plays it back to Coyle once again. Coyle wasting some time. Gives it up to Connert. But right on the spot is Picos to regain control. A give and go attempted between Kanasic and Picos fails. And Dino Perry ends up with the ball. Argatu controls to Connert. Connert. He has Argatu with him. He also has Bernardi and Marjanovic. But the ball rolls for a corner. Bernardi coming out of the corner, rolling it back to Connert. Connert plays it across to Hode. Hode trying to chip it through, and there's a whole host of Croatia players. And the ball is cleared. Kanasic, a long ball headed back by the Roma defender right into the hands of Dino Perry. That's okay, you're allowed to head it back. Just can't pass it back. Here's Smallshaw. Smallshaw directing it toward the corner. Argatu's there, so is Connert. Argatu holding off his man. Spins away. Connert's cross, and that's well behind the goal. Banking off the top of the fence at the one end of Roma Park. We're tied at 2. Roma trailing in this series now. 4-2 in total goals. Needing 2 to force overtime. At midfield, Krelton plays it across to Coyle. Coyle is most definitely the quarterback of this Croatian defensive core. Here's Krelton again, looking for some room to run and blast the left-footed shot right on Dino Perry. Perry chucks it out to Connert. Connert across the field to Hurley. Hurley replaced Zoran Zubic here in the second half. Hurley is checked. And here's Krelton again with it. Krelton rolling it through. Found Kosivic. Kosivic trying to get around Mamek. Takes a shot towards the net, and there was a Croatian player out front all alone, and it was Orte Kanasic. And he tried to just bounce the ball ahead a little bit to get it past Dino Perry, and the ball rocketed off his foot and in behind the goal line. You can tell that Roma is pushing offensively now, as few of the players getting loose down in the defensive zone.
again, don't forget, this Friday, the stack for the Club Roma Minor Soccer at the San Alfred.
Bernardi comes up with the loose ball, playing it into the corner, looking for Hurley, and knocked out of bounds by Coyle.
Like to thank all the spectators.
That'll waste some more time. A new ball being brought into play right from the Roma bench this time. Hurley throwing it in right at a Croatian player, and Croatia gains control. A long ball. Small Shaw is there. Dugas to Hode, who had to slam on the brakes. Hode across to Prince. Prince now moving into the play. He tried to pass it across, and it's intercepted neatly by Kanasic. Back comes Kosivic. His long pass. An opportunity for Croatia again here. This is Hekrovic, and he just rolls it into the front of the net, and Hode has it. Hode to Dugas, with his mates waving at him to come on up. Argatu with a bit of room. He's grabbed from behind, and no call right in front of the referee, Camacho. And that was blatant, as everyone in the crowd could see that, except for obviously Tony Camacho. Either he didn't see it or he chose to ignore it. Camacho now sprinting over to the sidelines, and he's going to have some words with Jim Douglas. You be the judge. How obvious is this? And Camacho just behind the play and just behind the two players, so it's quite obvious. We take a look at Coach Jim Douglas on the sidelines, what had happened on the play, but Camacho deciding not to call it. Hurley throwing it in, looking for Dugas. Dugas is bumped from behind. And once again, Roma players charging in. Jozo Mamic has joined in the offense. Only one man deep, and that's Gary Smallshaw, and he's covering a floater headed out of the way by Croatia. Hode playing it across. Connert will finally catch up to it at midfield. He'll roll it back to Smallshaw. Smallshaw spins away from Hekrovic. Mamic will have it now. A loose ball. Argatu can't catch up to it. Prince knocks it back in the other direction. It's cleared by Croatia once again. And there goes the final whistle. That signals the end of the game. This game finishes tied at 2. But the Canadian National League, or the Canadian National Soccer League Challenge Cup semifinal series goes to Toronto, Croatia, and they will advance to the final. 2-game total goals. A 4-3 advantage in favor of Croatia, and this one looked as if Roma was going to pull it out and at least force an overtime period here, as after trailing 1-0 after the first half, as Horte Kosivic scored for Toronto, Croatia midway through the first half, St. Catharines came out of the gate storming in the second half. Goals by first Zoran Zubic and then Zoran Marjanovic put Roma ahead 2-1, but then just moments later, Velimir Kruten was left alone and unmolested as he sprinted down the field and blasted a shot past Dino Perry, and that spelled the end for Club Roma. They lose this, or they tie this game 2-2, but lose the semifinal series by total goals 4-3, and Roma now has one thing on their minds for the rest of the season. They'll concentrate on making the playoffs. They sit in 4th now, in a logjam in 4th, and have to depend a lot on some other teams to see if they can squeak into the 6-team playoff for the Canadian National Soccer League. This one ends 2-2. Croatia advances to the Canadian National Soccer League Challenge Cup final series against London, winning the series 4-3 on total goals, and that'll do it for us here at Roma Park. A 2-2 tie, and Croatia moves on to the finals. I'm Mark Jenneret for the rest of the McLean Hunter crew, bidding you good night from Roma Park. Through the middle. Now Wayne Vandermeer takes control. Vandermeer fooling around with it, gets it to Kesman. McCaslin takes it now, and he gives it away. People up to Cesario, and Cesario is called on the offside. Very chippy play.
Yes, yes it is.
There you see our score, Woodbridge 1 and Roma 1. Late in the first half. Woodbridge striking very early in this game. Cesario with a goal, and then Club Roma coming back at about the 40-minute mark with Igor Hode with a hard blast from about 30 yards out, evening this game at 1-1. Perry now sending a long ball up. Rudy Pikazinski there. Balogun heads it away. Kesman and Hode get a little crossed up, but Kesman is able to come through and send Smolovich in all alone. Smolovich! Oh, and Ortepi comes out to grab that. Dragasov Smolovich saw himself all alone there, but the ball was just a little bit too far.
Yes, I think the ball was a little too fast, but the idea was, actually the idea is to break in the middle.
Wayne Vandermeer now. And Rudy Pikazinski with Balogun coming quick.
Once again, the referee is now calling the infractions.
Balogun having words with Pikazinski now. Two number 11s. Vandermeer, Randy Pikazinski. Pikazinski weaving his way in, but he's checked by Parks. Pikazinski, when you get so close to the net, about 20 yards out, trying to beat all the men is impossible.
And once again, as I said early, quick passes, I think that the Roma would do a lot better.
And there's the whistle then, the first half. Club Roma starting slow with Woodbridge getting out to a quick lead in the first few minutes of the game, but Roma coming back and making this a good first half.
Yes, Roma. I think the last 15-20 minutes, the first half, they have pick up the game much faster, moving the ball, and they create some chances. And if it only with a good play of the goaltender and in defense, it could have been up 2-1 by now. So.
Club Roma Soccer is brought to you by Club Roma, Vansco Road, St. Catharines, 682-7621. And so the score at the end of the first half, Woodbridge 1 and St. Catharines Roma 1. We'll be right back with the second half.
Serving your community. This is McLean Hunter Cable TV.
Welcome back to McLean Hunter Cable 10's presentation of Club Roma Soccer. Rob Corte along with the president of the National Soccer League, Armand DeFruscio, and we're just about ready for the start of the second half. The score right now is Woodbridge 1 and St. Catharines Roma 1. Woodbridge started very quickly in this game, scoring in the opening minutes on a goal by number 7, Sandro Cesario, as he broke in all alone and beat goalie Dino Perry. But Club Roma continued to get better as the half went on. And finally, Igor Hode tied the score at 1 with a blistering shot from about 30 yards out. And that's where we are, deadlocked here 1-1 as we head into the second half. Referee Tony Camacho checking to make sure everything's all right. Zoran, Zubic, and Dragasov Smolovich are at center. And here we go, we're underway. Smolovich plays it back to Randy Pikazinski. To Jason Hall. Kesman now. through to Smolovic. Smolovic is checked, and Pikuzinski gives it back to him. Smolovic tried to send it through, but Balagan sends it back to Artepi. Balagan sends a high kick, cut off by Jason Hall. Kesman now. Kesman with a nice fake sends Wayne Vandermeer down the line. Vandermeer watched by People and gives it away to McCaslin. Cleared back in the middle. And Randy Pikuzinski just knocks the ball. Club Roma throw-in coming up here as number 9 Marco DeLuca put the ball into touch. We have a substitution for Woodbridge. Number 12, Nick Maxwell, is now in the game. Club Roma seems to have gone with the exact same lineup.
Yeah, the same lineup. I think they're moving the ball a little quicker start of the second half.
Kesman down, crosses it over. Oh, and Rudy Pikuzinski headed the ball, and Artepi just knocked it wide of the net.
That was an excellent save by the goaltender. Good play by Pikuzinski and excellent save by the goaltender.
This results in a Club Roma corner kick. Roman Kesman set to take it. High corner, Smolovic up there. And Ortepi's out to knock it away. Randy Pikuzinski heads it in. Perks is there, and Hode sends it out to the wing. Giorgio up to Maxwell. Maxwell pushes a bit too far. And Randy Pikuzinski controls. Pikuzinski sends it across to Smolovic. Wayne Vandermeer takes control. And the ball is knocked out by DeLuca. Another corner kick coming up for Club Roma.
Yeah, Roma started out the second half and pressing the Woodbridge defense. And the forward was making a good job of keeping the ball up.
Wayne Vandermeer set to take this corner. Punched out by Artepi. And Vandermeer sends it behind Pikuzinski. Woodbridge defenders pushing out, hoping to catch Roma on the offside. And they do. Wayne Vandermeer was in there alone, but it looked like number 9, Dragislav Smolovic, was the man caught offside.
It's very, very close call outside.
Perk set to take this kick for Woodbridge. Sends it over to Salez. Balagan. And Hode heads it back. Zubic back to Hode. Hode with a nice move. Zubic. Oh, behind Dugas. Hode with the ball. Plays it back to Peter Campbell. Cesario on Campbell. Campbell gets up to Zubic. Zubic with a nice header to Rudy Pikuzinski. Rudy trying to get around McCaslin, but is unable to. McCaslin knocks it into touch.
Once again, the forward are pressuring the defense, and it's a change of the style of the game.
Woodbridge hasn't been able to penetrate at all the Roma's defense. Pikuzinski slips, but Roma still regains control on the throw-in. Perks clears it out. Randy Pikuzinski, and McCaslin sends it out. Jason Hall with control now. Sends a long ball for Zubic. Giorgio was back there. Artepi comes out to grab that. Maxwell. Checked by Dugas. Dugas hustling hard to keep the ball in, but is unable to. Good effort, though.
Very good effort. Dugas playing very well on defense.
Tepe set to take this goal kick. Peoples with the ball. Back to McCaslin. McCaslin with a nice move around Kesman. Sends a long ball. People in there with Peter Campbell. Campbell heads it. Corner kick coming up to Woodbridge. Woodbridge has an injured player down. Looks like number 9. Marco DeLuca, and slowly he's moving up the field. Woodbridge taking their time with this corner kick. High curling corner, and Perry comes out nicely to punch it over to Hall. Hall who sends it to Zubic. Zubic with a long high ball. Smolovich up for it. Gets a head on it. Continues on. And Balogun clears it down, but Kesman racing in hard with DeLuca. And Kesman takes DeLuca down hard.
Oh, very good run by Kesman.
Kesman dishing out a little bit of his own medicine after he was given a few of those hard tackles earlier in the first half. Giorgio with the ball now. Rojas, back to Georgie. To Maxwell. Watched by Hode. Maxwell, good ball to Cesario. Cesario, back down to Maxwell. Maxwell's cross. Punched out by Perry as People was right there. And Dugas starts back. Dugas with a long ball. McCaslin knocks it back. Randy Pikazinski up there. And Hode clears the ball. Roma seems to having a little difficulty controlling the ball in the last couple of minutes.
Yes, they seem to be disorganized in regard to the game plan.
Rudy Pikazinski gives it away to Rojas. DeLuca, blocked by Randy Pikazinski. DeLuca continues on, and Hode with a good run gets it to Kesman. Kesman to Hode. Hode is checked by Maxwell, and Rojas is taken down by Smolovich. Georgie and Perk plays it back to Ortepe. Ortepe motioning his players up. It's a long high kick. It's rated Dugas. Dugas sends it back. Ortepe once again with the ball. Sending another high kick. This time it's Hall with a header on it. Hode goes up for it, and he's fouled by Maxwell. It's funny sometimes to see how quick a game can change.
Yes.
At the start of this half, it was short passes by Roma, and they're moving, and then all of a sudden Roma's just switched to kick and run.
Yes, I just don't understand the logic of not playing short passes and quick passes. Woodbridge plays a long ball.
Rojas sending up the People. People chest it down, but Wayne Vandermeer takes it away. A nice move, and he is fouled as People grabbed hold of his shirt. The referee calling Dana People over. Seemed that People had a few words with the referee. Vandermeer. Rudy Pikazinski, and the ball was a little bit wide and went out into touch.
Yeah, it appears that the game is slowing right down. And I think Woodbridge is looking for the slow game now, the 1-1 tie.
Perks clears it out. And there's DeLuca, stopped by Hode, and Kesman now. McCaslin sends it long. See Dana People, and Peter Campbell's there for Roma. He clears it. McCaslin up to take this throw in for Woodbridge. People, he's fouled. Chirallo over now. Chirallo sending it in. And it's called on the offside. Woodbridge on all the corner kicks and free kicks in that area. They seem to be sending number 11, Simon Baligan, up from the defense. He's got
Yes, he's moving up. He's a little quick and
Dugas playing it back to Perry. Peter Campbell now moves up. Vandermeer. Kesman. Kesman loses it, out of bounds. Roma is making a substitution here. And it looks like number 11, Jerry Vandermeer, is coming into the game. And he's replacing number 8, Zoran Zubic. So Roma pulling in their leading goal scorer in the second half.
yeah, that doesn't appear to make sense. And the coach point of view, moving the player has been playing very well in the first half and including the start of the second half.
Many times so far this year, though, we've seen Jerry Vandermeer come in the second half and provide that spark and get that goal for Roma. I'm sure
Yes,
Coach
yes. He appears to have the spark when he comes in. Maybe perhaps what the coach was looking for at the moment.
Hode's long ball, Dugas. A little bit too far. Vandermeer after it. And Georgie to Maxwell. Cesario. See Cesario now injured. Jason Hall went in for the tackle. That tackle didn't look...
No, it didn't look as bad as it appears to be. No, I think the tackle was not any more than other tackles early in the game.
I think on that tackle there, it seemed that Jason Hall maybe caught the back of his foot. Here, as we take a look at the replay, Cesario's trying to make a fake, and Hall comes in. He gets the ball, but Cesario...
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that he got a hold of it. I think he just twisted his ankle as he tried to turn around with the ball.
Well, we've seen Cesario play it up in the first half, so maybe this is another play by him. It seems that
It didn't appear to be any contact by the Roma player.
Okay, here we see again.
Yeah, I think he did.
He might have clipped him.
He might have clipped just as he was passing by.
Cesario's now up. He seems to be all right. And he's pointing at Randy Pinkasinski as if to say, if it was you, I'm going to get you.
Well, Cesario's an experienced player, so he'll use his tricks if he can.
People taking it. Wayne Vandermeer with good coverage. However, he's called on a foul. Woodbridge now setting up over, and Randy Pikasinski heads it, and another corner kick coming up. This game is really slowed down.
Very slowed down, very slow pace.
Very few scoring chances, and even players are taking their time between the corner kicks and the throw-ins.
Of course, Woodbridge will do that.
Chirallo there. And Rudy Pikasinski knocks it into touch. Chirallo throws it in Maxwell. Blocked by Hode. And Randy Pikasinski. Vandermeer with a long ball. Smolovich giving chase. But it's too far, and the goalie, Angelo Ortepi, has control. Over to Baligan. Balogun's pass a little too far for McCaslin, and Peter Campbell gets it to Wayne Vandermeer. Vandermeer's passes out of touch. Roma seems out of sync now. They're not even the simple passes are not connecting.
That's right. It only made one change, so I don't think it has nothing to do with the change of the players at the moment.
We're about 20 minutes into this second half with the score tied 1-1 between St. Catharines Club Roma and Woodbridge. Dugas clears it, but Woodbridge was called on the offside. Goaltender Dino Perry motioning to his players to move upfield. And here's Jason Hall. Randy Pikazinski now with it. Over to Dugas. Jerry Vandermeer. A little too far. Georgie throws into Cesario. Back to Georgie. Sends a long ball. Peter Campbell now has. And plays it back to Dino Perry. Campbell now. Slowly moving up the field. Crosses it over, and Dugas is up, but Maxwell's there first. Kesman brings it down neatly with his chest, and Dugas now. Over to Jerry Vandermeer. He loses it, and Cesario. Linesman called that ball out.
That ball was very close, but
Campbell. To Randy Pikazinski.
I wonder what that is. Me too. Rainbow Meg.
DeLuca to People. People with a neat move. But his pass is intercepted by Randy Pikazinski. Over to Hode. Hode to Dugas. Dugas wide to Smolovich. He has two men on him. Balogun and Maxwell. And a foul is called. Dugas and Kesman. Kesman with the ball. Plays it over to Dugas. Dugas with a clean alley. Gives it over to Pikazinski, who fakes. Rudy and Randy in there. But the ball is played back by McCaslin to Ortepi.
good coverage by Woodbridge defense in regard to cover the offense.
High ball, and Dugas over to Jerry Vandermeer. Jerry with a nice move around Maxwell. Cuts in. Now high ball over, Rudy Pikazinski. And McCaslin bumped, and Pikazinski's called for a foul. You can see the blatant elbow there as Rudy tried to knock McCaslin off balance.
I guess it was a good try, so he got away with it, but he didn't.
Georgie with it now. Long ball to Cesario. Cesario, long ball for Maxwell. Dugas and Campbell there. Maxwell taking a little bit of a dive. Referee not buying that one, and Perry now has control.
And again, the defense a little too hard of a pass back to the goalie, almost a corner kick.
Perry throwing it over to Dugas. Cesario making chase. Kesman now. Kesman up to Dugas. The Smolovich. Good tackle by Balogun. And Smolovich knocks it out. You have to give Woodbridge credit here there.
Yes, they have been put a little more into it. I think they slowed down a little bit on half of the first half, but now they pick up again. Seems to play long ball.
Yeah, they seem, even when Roma's getting an opportunity to move upfield, they're having good defensive coverage and not allowing Roma to make that easy pass that Roma was getting in the first half, excuse me.
But again, it's a role because they're not doing the quick pass as they did for a while in the first half.
Rojas Back to Georgie. Georgie gets around Jerry Vandermeer. Sends it through, blocked by Hall. And a foul on Maxwell.
He cheated. He kicked the guy in the butt off.
Jason Hall plays it up to Randy P. Kaczynski. Over to Hode. Hode to Jerry Vandermeer. Oh, and he's taken down tough by Georgie.
Those are danger tackles.
Well, you see Jerry Vandermeer try and make that move a lot. He lets the ball come to him. He tries to block the player and move around, and that's what usually happens. You get a tough tackle from behind. Free kick here taken by Randy P. Kaczynski. Plays it across. McCaslin was up there. Hode and Balogun are up there in a tough tackle. Kesman plays it to Jerry Vandermeer. Jerry with a nice move. Good second effort. Rudy P. Kaczynski in the 18. He's taken down. Randy. And Randy P. Kaczynski's shot goes way over the crossbar. Roma with a good chance inside the 18-yard line. I think Rudy P. Kaczynski, when he got that ball from Vandermeer, he was faced the wrong way and he tried to turn around to get a shot.
Didn't run fast enough, and again he had the Woodbridge defense pretty well put him down. Even so, it doesn't appear to be hard tackle, but they put him down. And then the area coverage for Woodbridge appears to be a little stronger as it go on. I don't know what either Rome is not moving the ball quick enough and give the Woodbridge defense a little more time to position themselves.
Ortepi now setting up for the goal kick. Randy P. Kaczynski was in a good spot to take a good shot there, but he just got under it, sent the ball way over the net. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back.
I'm sure that he doesn't miss very often when he's on opposition.
DeLuca almost takes off ahead in his own bench. And Rojas sends it out of bounds. Woodbridge seems just content to kick the ball out of bounds, waste as much time as possible.
Well, I think Woodbridge with 1-1 tie for them and way at the point, I think they'll try to play the game down if it's possible.
Perks getting set to take this free kick. Sends a high ball up. People there. And there's Cesario. Cesario taken down hard by Hall. Comes in front and Hode clears it out. DeLuca to Georgie. Maxwell. Chirale making some nice moves. Puts it in front and Jason Hall clears it out. Georgie throws into People. And Georgie's shot is wide of the net. After that initial giveaway in the first half by Jason Hall in the first couple minutes that resulted in the goal, he's really settled down and played a very strong defensive game.
Yes, played well. Of course, he's young, as you said early. He's going to make some mistakes while he's learning, but it's the name of the game.
Jerry Vandermeer missing that ball. Georgie sending it for Cesario. Cesario and Jason Hall had a little scuffle, and the referee is over there. Cesario holding his mouth. And Jason Hall's being called over. He's being shown the yellow card. So Club Roma picks up its first yellow card of the game as Jason Hall is given a yellow.
Once again, the referee let all rough play, and now he's trying to clamp down. It's kind of late in the game.
As we were saying before, Cesario, his little games have worked as Jason Hall's gotten a yellow card now.
Yes, I hope Jason keeps his cool because he's always an experienced player.
Georgie with a nice rush. Maxwell in all alone. And Jason Hall's there to knock it to Perry. Dugas to Jerry Vandermeer. He tried a nice little Nifty pass, but that was cleared away. And Ortepi now has the ball. Oh, Vandermeer can't reach that. Jerry Vandermeer seems to be a step slow so far since coming into this game.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to be in the game.
Maxwell making a run. Good pass to People. People in all alone. The shot, and Dino Perry with a good save. Nice play by Maxwell.
Dino appears to be out of position on that ball.
Kesman now. Intercepted by People. Smolovich now. Balogun watching him. Oh, and he's taken down heavily. And the referee's going straight to
Yes,
Balogun.
it appears to be he's going to get a yellow card.
You see Smolovich laying on his back. As we take a look at the replay here, Smolovich is making a move, and Balogun comes in toughly and takes him in. And Balogun has been given a red card.
I believe that he probably figured that's a very dangerous play.
Well, it was especially dangerous as well, as Smolovich was right by the Club Roma bench, and it seemed that as he was going, he hit into the bench a little bit. So Balogun is out of this game, given a red card. And that's a big break for Club Roma, as Balogun has played a strong defensive game for Woodbridge.
Yes, he has. This is a good break for Roma. If they're taking a chance to do what they're supposed to do it. Once again, Roma appears to slow down a little bit the game. Either the Roma or the Woodbridge is holding the game in a slow pace.
Balogun, as you see him leaving the field, looking a little dejected. And it looks like Woodbridge has made another change. Number 10 is leaving the game. Anthony Chirallo. And coming in is number 2, Simon Rolleveld. Wayne Vandermeer sends Jerry Vandermeer in. Jerry with the cross. Dugas. And he's unable to get a head on it. Rudy Pikazinski now. It's being watched by McCaslin. Pikazinski is called on a foul.
It's very unusual to call the opposition with 2-1.
Perk set to take this. Over the head of Dugas. People miss it. Peter Campbell sends it back the other way. Headed by Rolleveld. Randy Pikazinski. The brother Rudy. The give and go just didn't work there. Wayne Vandermeer up strongly. And McCaslin clears. People giving chase with Jason Hall there. Hode now moving upfield. Randy Pikazinski with the ball now. Wayne Vandermeer sends it through. Hode in there, but Maxwell is able to clear it. Jerry Vandermeer with a nice through ball. Dugas in alone. Oh, and the ball's got loose, and Maxwell's there to clear. And Maxwell sends it back. Dugas in a break there. But it seems every time Roma gets a little breakaway, Ortepi's always there to come out.
Yes.
And Woodbridge clears it. And it looks like number 14, Dana People, is injured after he had a collision with Jason Hall back in the Roma's end. He seemed to be struggling to keep his balance, and finally he's down. And it looks like they're going to carry him off the field. Here's Dugas in all alone, and he tries to chip it over, but Ortepi is out to knock it away. And Dugas, just as he went to swing at the ball and hit it, Maxwell was there to clear it away.
Well, he tripped over the goalie. Yes, he went over. He made a good play and carried the ball with him whenever he fell down. Otherwise, you had a good opportunity to score.
So Dana People is out of the game, and Woodbridge has replaced him. And Kesman has been given a yellow card. So after a first half of calling giving no cautions or yellow cards
As I said earlier,
on tough tackles, he's turned around this half, and he's already given two yellows.
He started too late to cautious a player. He let too many things go, and now he wants control at the end of the game.
The player that replaced People is number 15, Edward Rimigan. Georgie sends it up, and Campbell's there, and he leaves it for Dino Perry. To Goss, back to Perry. To Peter Campbell. Campbell with the through ball. And Ho can't keep it. Oh, and player ran into the referee, Camacho. And Rudy Pikazinski is sent in down the left wing. Rudy crossing over, Smolovich inside. Oh, and what a save by Artepi. Beautiful play by Rudy Pikazinski and Smolovich. And Artepi was able to dive to his left and make the save.
Yes, a very good save. Smolovich took the ball very well.
Wayne Vandermeer heads it, and Perry is able to get it. Hode sends it into Smolovich. Smolovich really moving well in the last couple minutes. Smolovich with a nice move. Oh, just pushed a bit too far. Jerry Vandermeer. And Roma's getting a corner kick here. Jerry Vandermeer made one too many moves on that play. He had a clear shot, and he decided to make another move.
Yes. He could have already took shot.
Here, we have a replay here on the chance by Smolovich. Rudy Pikazinski with a good cutback, and Smolovich turns him with the left foot.
Yes.
Gets a shot on goal, and Artepi was able to stop it. On the corner. Oh. Artepi grabs hold of Rudy Pikazinski, but the referee does not call it. And we have a break now as Rimigan's coming down the right side. And Peter Campbell clears it. Roma getting some good scoring chances now. Smolovich and Rudy Pikazinski have only played 2 games together ever, and in the first game they both scored and they worked well offensively, and they've continued it through this game.
Yes, appear to play the same style of game. Good passes, good control of the ball.
Cesario with the throw in. Pikazinski plays it back to Jason Hall. Hall to Dugas. Maxwell, Cesario. Headed away by Pikazinski. Rojas moving up. And Rojas taking a shot well wide of the net. As the ball was bouncing on him, he wasn't able to get under it and get a good shot.
But again, Perry moved out. If that ball was on net and the high looping ball could have gone behind him. So he was a little bit out of position, even though the ball was out.
Vandermeer moving up. Campbell, and back to Perry. Perry with the high kick. Over the head of DeLuca, and Randy Pikazinski after it. DeLuca clears it. Rojas sending a long ball, and Rimigan's chasing it. Peter Campbell's there to play it back to Perry. Hode Hode pushing it up to Kesman. Kesman making a rush. Again, making one too many moves. And Perks is able to clear it.
It appears Woodbridge now is just holding
hanging on, yeah.
hanging on and try to finish this game in 1-1 tie.
We're getting in the late stages here of the second half. Jerry Vandermeer cutting across. Long cross, Rudy Pikazinski up there. Cleared away by Georgie. And Rolaveld clears it. Hode, Jerry Vandermeer. Jerry through to Smolovich, to Dugas. And Rojas once again clears it. Peter Campbell now. Sending it through. All the way to Ortepi. Woodbridge was playing the trap there, so all the Roma players were running towards Campbell as he shot it back.
Yes. If the ball wasn't so hard, it was in the play. Whatever it was a very hard shot. So
Vandermeer to Campbell. Campbell with a long ball. Perks, Rojas. Kesman can't come away with it, and Georgie now takes it. Campbell and Rojas again. Kesman seemed to get hit in the head on that. And Georgie puts it into touch.
it appears that Roma does not take the opportunity that Woodbridge is one man short.
Smolovich. And McCaslin clears it. Dugas in hard. Is unable to keep it in. Good effort though,
Very good
Dugas,
effort.
as he came up way back from his defensive position. Throw-in coming up to Roma. Dugas. Georgie knocks it away from Rudy Pikazinski, and Perks is able to clear it.
Why? What happened?
Right here, Ralph.
The ball went right over.
Rudy Pikazinski back to Dugas. Dugas with a long ball. And McCaslin's there to clear it. Wayne Vandermeer. He slips and Woodbridge with a little break. Remnigan, and he's checked neatly by Jason Hall.
Good defense coverage, but Jason Hall, while waiting, was out of position.
Cesario. He's checked by Vandermeer. Vandermeer puts it into touch. Oh, it was awarded to Roma. Must have hit Cesario on the way out. We're very late in the second half. The score tied 1-1. Both goals coming in the first period. Dugas. Jerry Vandermeer. Maxwell. To Rimigan, and he's taken down by Peter Campbell. That looked a little worse than it actually was. And Woodbridge is awarded a free kick. Cesario set to take it. He goes down the wing and DeLuca gives it to him. Cesario with the cross. That was wide of the net. Perry sends the ball up right to Georgie. Georgie misplays it. And Rudy Pikazinski now with it. Rojas is checking him tough. And the ball goes out of bounds. Carlson throws in. Hode. Hode plays it back to where he thought Wayne Vandermeer was, but Vandermeer had moved up. Woodbridge throw in, and you can just see Woodbridge now moving very slowly, taking their time. Hopefully the clock will run out for them and they'll come away with a 1-1 tie. But Roma's Roma wants this win. This is very important for Club
Yes,
Roma if
it
they
is.
want to make the playoffs. As they have a tough schedule coming up as they play the first place Toronto, Croatia, Toronto, Italia, London City, and the Toronto Jets, who are currently in second place. Or Tepi, the long kick. Pikazinski now. Hode to Randy Pikazinski. Tries to hit brother Rudy, and that's behind him.
Well, last 5 minutes, Roma, the pass don't appears to be on the target.
I think the Roma players might be pressing just a bit, trying to get that winner.
Yes, we're pressing a little too hard, and by doing that, the passes are not.
Kesman called on a foul there as he took down DeLuca. Rojas is there. Rojas setting up for Cesario. Jason Hall watching him. And Jason Hall knocks it into touch. Cesario with the throw in. And a foul called on number 9, DeLuca.
Well, it appears the other way.
Free kick coming up here for Woodbridge. DeLuca once again set to take it. DeLuca with the hard shot. And that bounces off the wall, giving Woodbridge a corner kick. Roma has to be very careful in the late stages of the game. They have a tie, and I know they really like the win, but a loss would be crushing for their playoff hopes.
Well, it'd be a hard break to lose this game. Playing with 11 against 10, Woodbridge scored. It'd be a real hard break for Roma, that's for sure.
Cesario on the corner. Perry's out, gets a hand on it. McCaslin's there, cuts it across. And lucky for Roma, it was right at Rudy Pikazinski. Pikazinski with a dangerous move. He sends it up to Wayne Vandermeer. And Vandermeer puts it out of bounds. Rojas over to take the throw in for Woodbridge. You can see them just wasting time. Georgie now. Right at Wayne Vandermeer, and the foul was called on Cesario. Randy Pikazinski now set for the free kick. Over to Hode. Hode's ball for Pikazinski too far. Woodbridge is again awarded a throw-in.
Roma not playing a smart game at all. The last 10-15 minutes.
Cesario is fouled. You can see the frustration starting to set in the Roma's players. Georgie up to take this free kick. Plays it down the line. And a goal kick's award to Club Roma. Oh, excuse me, a throw-in. Jason Hall, the Wayne Vandermeer, Randy Pikazinski. Kesman can't get to it. And Vandermeer sends it up again. Cleared away. And Kesman now. The ball down for Jerry Vandermeer. He can't get to it as Perks is there. Roma has a throw-in coming up.
You know, the Woodbridge has 5 men back. It's just pressing to get a tie.
Hode. Hode is fouled by Rojas. Puts his hands up in disgust. And Wayne Vandermeer now. Vandermeer with the high card. Or Tepe's up, and he catches that ball uncontested. Maxwell with a long ball for Cesario. Peter Campbell plays it back to Perry. Over to a wide open Wayne Vandermeer. And he sends a long ball for Jerry, his brother. Neatly played back by Perks to Artepi. Artepi's high ball, headed by Jason Hall, and he's fouled by Cesario.
Like the referees are looking on the clock, it must be the last couple of minutes of the game.
Randy P. Kaczynski. Dugas. Dugas with a ball. Headed over by Rudy. Kesman down the wing. Oh, he slipped. Keeps going. Smolovich. And Artepi is able to knock that for a corner kick for Roma. This might be their last chance. The referee, Tony Camacho, is looking at his watch. Randy P. Kaczynski set to take this. Comes in, Dugas in. And Roma is called for a foul. It's very difficult to call a foul when you have 10 or so players in one area.
Yes,
everyone's falling everywhere.
Yes. How do you pick that up? I don't know, but he did. Woodbridge has to slow this game right down to it. And the referee's falling, not speeding the game up.
Artepi. Jason Hall gets to it, and Rojas. Remigan misses it. And Hode is able to get it out. Kesman making a move. McCaslin's up there, though. And he plays it back to Artepi. Kaczynski. Sends it in. Rudy after it with Georgie and Artepi once again. Artepi's very good at diving out and trapping the ball.
Yes.
He seems very confident.
And again, good coverage of their defense as well.
And there's the whistle. And this game is over. And you can see the happiness on the Woodbridge players as they have played Club Roma here at Vancicle Road Park to a 1-1 tie.
Yes, that's a good point for Woodbridge, but it's not good for Club Roma if they wish to make the playoff.
Roma seemed to come out at the start of the second half really strong on coming on like gangbusters, but all of a sudden they just stopped, and that was it.
It seems to fall apart at some point in the game, and Woodbridge took advantage of that, including by playing with 10 men against 11. And you have to give credit to Woodbridge by playing so well with 10 men.
Yeah, so Club Roma definitely disappointed in this 1-1 tie with Woodbridge, unable to avenge an earlier 2-0 loss in a game that was played in Woodbridge. Club Roma Soccer is brought to you by Club Roma, Vancicle Road in St. Catharines.